I am a die cut addict, and I admit that freely, and I'm not looking for an intervention anytime soon. I love to create cards with dies, and this video is the first in a new series of videos I am doing called Die Cut Crazy. Hello, and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Heshik, and this video focuses on cards for kids made with some favorite dies. I am the owner and design team coordinator of Send a Smile for Kids, a charitable organization with volunteers all over the United States who collect and distribute handmade cards to kids who are inpatient in children's hospitals. We have a monthly challenge with a theme of the types of cards we are looking for at that time, and right now we need spring and Easter cards for our kids. I made this card using some new dies from Lil Inker Designs and a background die from Gina Marie Designs for the current challenge. So as you can see, there's a really cute upside down bunny. I was inspired by a card I saw on their blog to do that. And then the spring is also from Lil Inker, and the background is from Gina Marie Designs. So the entire thing, of course, is made with dies, but really cute and easy to make. Kids love cards that move, and I made this card with some favorite dies and stamps. So as you can see, it's a slider card, kung fu, karate, ninja guy that slides back and forth along the slider. And here are the supplies that I used to make this card. I love the thin foam strips from Motion Crafts, and I'm going to use them on both the cards that I'm making today. Here are the dies that I used. This is a Lawn Fawn slider die. And all of them, there'll be links in the description, of course. This is the Hill stitched die from Burniston. This is a die from the Motion Crafts Super Friends die and stamp set. So it has the stamps and then it has the dies that match, and I used that. And this is a die from Impression Obsession. So on the inside of the card I have sending lots of good wishes, and then I just cut another piece to sign the card on the inside. So those are the dies that I used. And then this is the stamp set, and it is the Altenew Ninja Invasion stamp set. I think there are matching dies for this set, but I didn't get them. I did the cutting out of these by myself, but again, I showed you all the other dies that I did use in the card. So we're going to start by stamping the Ninja. I've already done it, but I'm just going to show you how easy it is to do this with this Altenew stamp set. So in my MISTI, put the paper right to the corner. I'm going to ink up the Ninja stamp. Okay. And as you can see, it needs a little more, but that's where the MISTI or the stamping tools are really nice for that. Now there is a second piece, actually there's three pieces, but the second piece is his or her hands and face and it's really easy to line these up if you have a stamping tool, of course. And they have a diagram on their stamp set showing you exactly what you're supposed to do. So I am lining up the hands and the face, and then I'm going to stamp that in a light Memento ink. And if we want it to be just a little darker, which I think I do, because I'm not sure you can even see them, it's a very light pink, but so the outfit is stamped, and the hands and the eyes, skin around the eyes, stamp easily with that layered stamp from Altenew. There is also a belt stamp, but my grandson is a brown belt, so I decided to put a brown belt on this guy, and I have already cut it out myself. Like I said, there is a die set, I think, that cuts all of these out, but I had chosen not to buy that, trying to be a little more conscious of the money I spend on dies. So here are the other pieces that we need. I've cut an A2 card base out of some dotted blue. Again, on the inside I've already die cut and attached the sentiment and the piece to sign it. This is the grass cut with a die from Burniston, and then this is the slider cut with a die from Fawn, and I've stamped Because You Are Awesome, which is also from this Ninja set. I've prepared You Got This, and die cut that with a die from Motion Crafts, and we need a penny. So what we're going to do is we want the Ninja to be on this, to slide in that slider, and we want to hide the penny in the back. So I am using a little piece of the, now this piece should be good, Motion Crafts foam strips to attach the penny. So I'm just putting that there. I use the long strips all the time, but whatever's left I always save, because each piece can be used for some purpose, of course. I've also, as you can see, put the foam strips along the outside edges and put one there, and now the Ninja will slide back and forth along the channel. Sometimes he just does it on his own, sometimes he needs a little encouragement. I can see my grandson going, hi-ya! There you go. So now we're going to remove the foam on the longer strips that are raising this piece up. And we're going to put this on the card. Oh, looks like we went all the way to the bottom. I I made it a tiny bit bigger than what we needed because it's better to have it too big than too small. So I will trim off the excess. And our ninja guy will slide on the slider on the channel back and forth. And then I'm going to, I popped this up on some little pop dots. You got this. An encouraging comment there. Because you are awesome. Look at that sticking. I'll have to fix that. I'll show you a quick way to do that. If you've got some adhesive where you don't really want it and you don't want it to stick, if you take a powder tool and just put a little bit of powder on the part that you don't want to stick, it will usually just take care of that problem. And I have it here at all times for that. So, you've got this because you are awesome and a sliding ninja. This is the second card that I'm going to show you how to make today. As I said before, the kids love movement in their cards, at least my grandsons do. And so I made an all-aboard love train card with a whole bunch of dies that I will show you. I also used Motion Crafts grid and their animated stamps. And so if you watch, you will see the hearts going back and forth. And I gave my grandson a book that had this in it, and he was absolutely fascinated with that page and that page only, so I decided to make him, and he loves trains, so this is his love train animated card that he's going to get for Valentine's Day. On the inside it says, "Love you," and all aboard the love train. And here are the supplies that I used to make this card. I used the Penny Black Love Train die set. I'm using grids and the animated stamp from Uchi's Designs, Motion Crafts by Uchi's Designs. I'm a big fan of theirs and use them quite often. I'm also using some small alphabet dies from Jade Blossom. This is a very cool set, and I have a link in the description. It has all the capital letters in a nice small size, and it has all the small letters. So especially for a young reader like my grandson is, my youngest grandson, they're very easy to read and it's a good size. This die and this die are also from Motion Crafts, and it is the slot and the pull tab. But if you didn't have that, you could just cut a slot with a knife and make your own pull tab. I have it. It's very easy to use when you do have those dies. I have Love, which is from Impression Obsession, and You, which is a layered die from Honeybee Stamps. And this rectangle, stitched rectangle, is from, I know this, Little Inker Designs. Little Inker. I love Little Inker's stitched dies. They're most of the time they have them on the inside and the outside. So if I'd wanted the inside, I would have stitching. In this case, I wanted the outside, so I have stitching either way. And then this is the stamp from Motion Crafts that we're going to use to make that movement. I wanted to point out that the first card that I made, I cut a 12 by 6 piece and folded it in half, and that's not going to quite fit into a 6 by 6 square envelope, which is the largest one I have. Now of course I could make one, but I decided on this one to go with just a little bit less than 6 by 12 so that it will fit into a 6 by 6 envelope when it's being sent. I have also cut a white cardstock 8.5 by 5.5, and I folded it in half with the top fold. Then I die cut out that little inker stitched rectangle from the front, and I have die cut the letters all aboard and punched a couple hearts and cut that slit. So I wanted to do as much as I could in advance that you didn't need to see me doing all that die cutting, but I will show you the key parts of this. We're going to need my MISTI again. And we're going to put the card base in the MISTI. I have marked with a pencil the opening of that rectangle, and I am going to take the heart animated stamp from Motion Crafts, which is designed by Motion Crafts, and I'm going to place it in the center of those 4 lines that I have drawn. And then I'm going to, what I wanted to show you, that we want to check to be sure that this is straight. So there's a line, and you can see that it is straight on that line. Pretty good. I maybe do it a little bit better. So it's nice that there's lines that you can actually line those things up with. And it's still within those 4 marks, and it's straight on that line, and that's very important when it comes to these animated stamps. I'm going to ink it up. And put it back in the corner and do it one more time. This time I'm going to stand up and push. And we have a pretty good image. I'm just going to take the grid and make sure that when I move it across that, we have good motion. Can you see that? It's working very well. Don't want to put those magnets too close to each other. Get that off my Gina K Tidy Towel. And we're going to carefully erase these lines. Oh, I did smear it just a little bit, didn't I? Try not to do that. I don't think it's going to matter though. Okay, I think I'm just going to take a second and make sure that's dry. Okay, the black ink that we used is completely dry now, and I have it set where the grid is, when it moves, is going to make that stamp be animated. I've put the tab of the grid piece through the slot that I created, and now I'm creating a channel for this. I put a stopper at the end. And then I'm going to take some more of the Motion Crafts foam strips and put a piece. You don't want it to touch the grid, but you do want to kind of just put a piece that will kind of hold it in place. Nope, I only need one at this point. So I'll put this one, not touching it, but somewhat close to that grid. And then I like to take my powder tool and apply powder along the inside of those pieces to make sure the grid does not stick to those. And then I have also put a piece of skinny tape along the bottom because we want this to close securely. Yeah. Very sticky. So our grid is in place, and we're going to close the card. And as you can see, the pull here pulls back and forth and makes the hearts dance. And then we're going to attach this to the card. So when you mail it, you can push it in. And then we're going to put our love train on. I popped it up on Pop Dots. Put it down just a little bit. Our little heart has a glue dot on it, and this also does. And those were created with just old punches that I own from previous. They're probably discontinued, but I still use them. This is the smoke, which I decided to make white on this card. And then we have our LOVE. Love Train. LO. V. E. All aboard our love train, pulling it and seeing the animation of those hearts. And on the inside it says, "Love you." Our kids' cards made with many fun dies are complete, and I know my grandsons are going to love them. I hope one or all of these cards inspired you to try making cards easily with great dies like the ones I shared in this video. Thanks for watching, sharing, and subscribing, and helping me share the joy of creativity.